The Ice House by Minette Walters. Mrs. Phoebe Mayberry, a widow in her late 30s, lives in Streech Grange with her two companions, Diana and Anne. One day her servant Fred finds a rotting corpse in their ice house, a storage room inside a hillock that hasn't been used for years. DCI George Walsh thinks it may be the corpse of Phoebe's husband David, who went missing 10 years ago. Back then, Walsh suspected her of killing her husband, but this was never proven. Inhabitants of the village believe that the three women are lesbians, and that Phoebe did not only kill her husband but also her parents. They died in a car crash after garage owner KC neglected to check their brakes. One of the villagers, Dilly Barnes, has forbidden her children Peter and Emma to play with Phoebe's children, Jonathan and Jane. The grounds are searched and the three women and Phoebe's grown-up children are questioned. Jane used to have anorexia nervosa and underwent psychotherapy. DS Andy McLaughlin, whose wife has just left him for another police officer, gets romantically involved with and believes the three women are innocent. Medical examiner Webster says the corpse can only be between 2 and 3 months old. A list of missing persons includes the names Keith Chappell and Daniel Thompson. Thompson's wife is interrogated. It turns out he collected money from investors to produce see-through radiators. One of the duped investors was Diana. One night a burglar in Streech Grange smashes Anne's skull. She recovers in hospital, but doesn't remember who attacked her. It turns out that Daniel Thompson is still alive. He was hiding from the angry investors and wanted to move to France with his wife. Wally Ferris, a tramp who was seen in the environment, confesses he's been in the ice house and stole the clothes of a dead man. The dead man is finally identified as Keith Chappell or KC, the former garage owner who went bankrupt. Chappell died from the cold and part of his flesh was eaten by rats after Wally left open the door of the ice house. It is also revealed that, 10 years ago, DCI Walsh tried to blackmail Phoebe into becoming his mistress in exchange for stopping the investigation. She refused, so in revenge, he spread subtle hints that she killed her husband but got away with it, leading to her isolation and distrust from the village. A group of burglars is caught at Streech Grange. After Jonathan fires a gun between Peter Barnes' legs, he confesses that he smashed Anne's skull. Peter was instigated by the nasty gossip of his mother and other villagers. When the three women are left in McLaughlin's company, they talk openly about how Phoebe killed her husband almost 10 years ago. She initially caught him abusing Jane. This and his financial trouble led him to leave Streech Grange, but he returned a couple of months later. Meanwhile, vandals from the village had terrorized the three women and the children, so when David sneaked into the house, Phoebe smashed his skull thinking he was one of them. They buried his corpse behind a wall in the cellar. McLaughlin decides to help them get rid of the remains for good, so that they can move on. He also plans to start a new life with Anne.